Brandy.
Yeah.
What's today's video about?
The reading of Summer Wells by Donna the Psychic.
Donna Seraphina. Brandy can't say it, so I'll let y'all know what
I say Seraphina. Seraphina.
Like Aquafina?
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all know who we're talking about.
Y'all know who we're talking about. Anyway, she's done quite a bit. Now, we're going to go over basically the theory that she has. We'll call it her theory that we've put together out of listening to hours and hours and hours of this. And I made it into a theory, and then we're going to go back and tell y'all some of the other stuff she mentioned too, which is wild, all of it. And it's a bad story.
Yeah. We hope it's not true.
I hope she's wrong, because she tells a wicked tale.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, so she says about a week, 10 days, something in that ballpark, beforehand, that they had taken Summer to meet with prospective buyers people. Not the person that probably was going to end up with her, but somebody that was kind of cataloging.
Yeah. Send them there to take pictures of her to see if they wanted to purchase her.
Exactly. So then they would take the pictures, they'd take them back to whoever they're reporting to, and that person would decide. Well, apparently, according to Donna, they did decide that they wanted Summer. Mm-hmm. And now the way we've interpreted this is it fits with the last video. It's never specific on the date, correct?
Right.
But it fits that scenario perfectly, the way I interpreted it.
Yeah.
So she basically says that they had to get Summer drugged up for the transfer.
She calls it
So they're taking her to the drop off. Summer's medicated, and Candace is the one taking her. Now, she takes her, meets whoever gets Summer.
Correct.
Those people then take Summer somewhere else. Right?
Right.
The initial plan was to have her for a year or two. Or longer. And have her in the industry. Right?
Catalogs, films, yeah. They can make money off of.
Right. Then, the popularity got so big, they got scared, and they
got rid of her.
And it's really horrible fashion to hear Donna describe how they went about it.
Yeah.
We'll touch on it a little bit, but I'm not going to go there too much. Because it's a bad story. It's a horrible ending for Summer.
It is.
So that's the basics, though, from start to, when Summer was taken.
Yeah.
Now, they said they was going to catalog her, use her for a few years. Popularity got too high, and what she says they ended up doing was making a snuff film. So it's very disturbing, and I really hope if she's wrong on one, it's this one right here, because I hate to think that Summer went through all that. And I don't want anybody watching it to give up looking for Summer because of this either.
Right.
Because we don't know any of this is true. It could all be wrong. We don't know. But I will say, her kind of theory that we put together from all of her readings and stuff fits a timeline fairly well. I will say that, right?
Yeah.
Now, outside of that, she says a lot. And a lot about Grandis, Dawn, Candace. She says a lot about these people. And it's disturbing things. She says something, though, that I agree with. She says Dawn hams it up for the camera.
Yeah, we all know how he does that.
You ain't got to be psychic to know that.
Yeah.
He is a ham. He loves the attention. She says both Dawn and Candace are aggressive people. And both of them scream at the kids. And both of them abuse the kids. So,
right.
Now, the way Donna tells it, Grandis kind of come up with this scheme in the beginning.
Yeah.
She doesn't say if she told Candace she should do this or just like pitched it and Candace took it and ran with it.
Right.
But she says that the orders pretty much came down from Grandis. And Grandis was saying that Summer was a threat to Candace with Dawn.
Competition, I guess.
Competition's the way she put it. And so she's basically saying that Candace got rid of Summer because Dawn was giving her way too much attention.
Yeah, and Grandma was saying you could get a pretty penny for her. Remember that part?
Yeah. At one point, she says that she actually sees Candace, though, and this is at the end, in handcuffs, and she thinks she's taking them to where Summer's remains are.
Right. She says people will be arrested.
Yeah, that's the best thing about her reading. She does say that this is going to get found out.
Yeah. And
she says at one point she sees Candace getting arrested and leading them to the body. So it makes you think, if this lady's right, she's the weakest link.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
She sees jail time. She gives a horrible description of the snuff film, too. Let's just say that. She paints these people as being dressed up as like a medieval executioner with hoods and the whole makeup. So it's horrible to think that she could be right. She says she sees an altar. Right?
Right, and the main person looks like Darren Stevens off of Bewitched.
Yeah, the main buyer person that's most invested into this, she says, looks like Darren Stevens off Bewitched. Just like him. So if we get some suspects and they're like, hey, check this dude out, he just got arrested for blah blah, and you're like, damn, is that Bewitched?
Darren Stevens. Yeah.
Darren Stevens.
That's him. That's our guy. She also says she sees a paper with his picture in there and Summer, so it might be in the paper.
That they tracked it all the way up the chain.
That would be great. Really would.
It would. Well, it sucked at what would have to happen to get to there if she's right, but it would be great that. And, me and Manny's been saying for a while, we think possibly they could have some stuff, but they're looking to make this a huge bust, because if you could get somebody on the inside of one of these rings, it's hard to tell how many kids you could save in the long run. We prefer to think that's possibly what's going on. Now, she says, basically Candace's idea. Grandma pitched it. They were both down with it. Dawn originally wasn't as down with it. But
Right.
then, after they thought about it and realized Summer was going to be starting school, they kind of pitched it to Dawn like, well, if she stays around, you're going to be going down too, right?
Right.
So that's kind of how they sold it to Dawn, the way she makes it.
Yeah, and she makes it clear all of them are involved, all three of them.
Yeah, she don't pull no punches, man.
Yeah.
She says all three of them are deep into this.
Yeah. Which is very disturbing. Very.
It's disturbing, but it's not surprising.
No.
Because I agree with her on that, in my opinion.
Yeah, like we've talked before, if one of them involved, but all three of them probably knows what, they're all involved.
I can't see them all three living together for months at a time, and they all know.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? Maybe they all know that she was abducted. It's still possible, because we don't know, and I don't want anybody to stop looking for Summer.
Me either.
But I feel like all three of them know that.
Yeah. They know
and they would,
Yeah.
So any way you look at it, these three people know what happened. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Even if it was an abduction, they might not even know who the abductor was, but they know that too.
Yeah. So.
Now, I don't think it was an abduction, personally. You got any thoughts on abduction?
Very low percentage, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, she does say something that it's almost like she hedged her bet to me. I'm sorry. But she did say at one point she sees Summer on the side of a hill, and that's where she's buried. Then at another point, she says she sees her outside of a brick building, and that's where she's buried. Now, could this possibly be that she was buried in the woods and the heat got on them and had to move her?
Maybe.
Possibly. But see, she don't spit that out.
No.
That's one of them things you have to kind of think about. She does see a rest, like we said. That's the happiest thing I could
come out of it.
Yeah.
And if this did happen, I'm hoping it didn't. Summer might be the reason, they really cracked this ring, if there is a ring, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Not focus on them, is what I'm thinking.
She says she thinks Candace will be jailed, and then they're going to find photos, and Dawn's going to be jailed. Now, she kind of dropped the ball on that one, because Dawn's in jail already.
Right.
So, and, this could be a year down the road also.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows where we'll be at a year from now.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Benny and Candace is going skydiving.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be letting Benny pack my chute, would you?
No.
Or Candace.
Yeah.
She says she sees Summer saying she wants to go home. Then she says the abductor, she sees him trying to calm her down, make it cool. Everything's okay. This is your home. Trying to relax her, right?
Yeah.
But this is actually the dude that's making the snuff film. Let's see what we're talking about. Said these guys like to watch her cry, right?
Yeah.
Said that they really got off on seeing
Little kids cry, little girls.
Kids crying in pain and stuff like that.
Sick.
They talk about Candace's carny years, or she mentions Candace's carny years, right?
Yeah.
And she thinks that this could be related to someone from the carny universe, right?
Right.
She also brings up some pretty specific names, too. And she makes it out like Candace was kind of her pimp. And that she had that was a couple people she mentioned by name that we all know of that was doing bad things. And she points the finger at Dudley and Jose. She says the reason Don got so mad with the whole Utah, when he was in Utah trip coming home mad, was because he found out that Candace had sold her to Jose.
Yeah. Sickening.
Now, not to keep, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And she names these people out, you know. I didn't get that kind of feeling from Dudley.
Me either.
You know, Dudley was a good-looking dude, had a great-looking wife, you know, but you never know about anybody. But I'm not saying him or a Jose had anything to do with that.
We're just going over what she said.
Just telling you what the psychic said. She made it out like Candace had a horrible history of SA. Grandis used to beat her. Said that kind of made Candace where she didn't know how to defend a child.
She just didn't really stop it. She had a blind eye, you know, toward it. So.
Right. And she says that Candace kind of sees SA with children as not being anything wrong with it.
Right. That's just what men do.
Because, that's how she was brought up. What she's been around so much of.
That's weird.
That's wild, ain't it?
Yeah. Maybe, but I think...
I hate to think this woman's right about this.
Grown-ups should know right from wrong, you know?
Oh, there's no damn excuse.
You know.
That's not, I mean, that's no excuse.
No.
At all.
No.
I don't buy that as an excuse one bit.
Oh,
I'm just saying that's what the psychic explained.
Yeah, she did say that. People...
You know, and I see a lot of stuff in comments, and now, after we did all this research, I realize where people have gotten a lot of this stuff. She says that CPS was in contact with them beforehand, too. And she kind of plays a little bit of the angle that, you know, that's another reason that it was easy to sell to Dawn.
Right.
She even goes, this is why I thought it was lined up on the 15th, because she says they gave the Summer the meds in the slushy.
The blue slushy.
The blue slushy from Sonic. That's why it makes me think she's talking about the drop-off date.
Right.
Was the date of supposedly the video that, you know, the 15th.
The actual call to 911.
Right.
Same day.
Yeah. She said she keeps seeing Candace getting rid of Summer. That was big in her theory. She really seems to think Candace is the one who made the decision, and then, you know, the other two went right along with it for whatever reason.
Yeah, I agree. She didn't really say how.
She sees the J. She says it could be J, Jason. It's a J sound, and it's got something to do with Summer's case.
Right.
Then she describes somebody that she didn't really say what their involvement was, except maybe they had been having appointments with Summer.
Right.
And she makes this person out, the way she described him made me think she was talking about Jackie Dobson. She talks about this guy who's all scraggly, and then he ran home and shaved all his stuff, which I don't know if he did that, but she made it out like he was the dude on the property that they'd heard about, and there was something to do with that. She made it out like Jackie Dobson was also a part of this, right?
Right.
She said the red for sale sign barrel was for pedos.
Yep.
It was a
signal sign.
A signal sign. We went through that, right? She said it was kind of like a pedo club where people would bring their own kids to.
Yeah.
And have them with other kids and stuff.
Yeah, and they would share, like, pictures and trade videos, stuff like that, sickening stuff.
Gross stuff.
This is awful.
She says that Candace and Dawn both abuse Summer. She says Grandma knows, and she has, like, something to hide knowledge.
Yeah. It makes sense why none of them are turned on each other, because they're all involved somehow.
She says the CPS was in the process of removing the kids already. Right?
Right.
So, I've seen that go around the wire a lot, too. She says the Wells are very aggressive people. I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I always thought that thing about Allie screamed at Candace and said, "Ha ha, you lost your kid." I always thought, Candace don't seem like the type of woman
That would take that.
that would take that if that was the way it went down.
Right.
Does she?
No. No, she has. No.
No.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
She does a lot of talking about the carousel was the meeting spot, and she sees upside down houses and things like that. Me and Brandy go to Gatlinburg religiously. All that stuff's there.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff she described is there. We do know the wells were there about 7 to 10 days before Summer went missing.
Yeah.
So a lot of what she says does line up. She says she sees Summer on top of the refrigerator, and it's like she's scared trying to get out of Candace's reach. Right?
Right.
She said people had already reported the wells to CPS. That's why she says the CPS involvement was there.
Right.
Already. And she thinks that, this timing thing could have had a lot to do with that.
Right.
She talks about seeing she calls it a candy cane house. But she says it's actually a gingerbread house with candy cane trim, right?
Right.
Candy is Grandis's nickname.
Yeah.
You reckon it's got something to do with that?
Maybe.
She says there's a clue, and the way she sees it is, she sees a basket pattern made out of chewing gum from the 60s, the wrappers of that gum. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if they come back and they're like, guess what? In the Wells house, they found an oven mitt made out of bubble gum wrappers that were woven together. I'm going to be like, shit.
Yeah, that's pretty.
She's legit.
Right.
I mean, that's the most detailed thing she talked about. And I thought, man, if that comes into play, I might be a believer along with the rest of you.
All right.
She talks about the end for Summer a lot, like I said, and there's a lot of it. I'm not going to go over it, but it's really horrible what she says happened.
You could go listen
in
to
the
it.
end.
I didn't mean, yeah.
Yeah. She really gives Dawn down the road a lot, too. She says Dawn has a fetish for small kids, right?
Right.
She makes it out like the reason Dawn got behind this is because all the trouble he'd get to if somebody, was to examine Summer or whatever. If she taught at school, if CPS got their hands on her. So she made it out like it wasn't nothing to sell it to him because he had as much to lose as anybody by Summer staying around.
Right, yeah, I agree.
She actually says Grandis is seasoned at hurting children. Like she's been doing it her whole life.
Mm-hmm. Nothing new.
She talks about Grandis abusing Candace, right?
Yeah. Pattern.
She seems to believe there's photographs that are evidence of Summer being abused, that they're out there and they're going to be found. And she thinks that's what's going to get Dawn. Right?
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that camera they took of his. You think they would already know if there's something on there?
They kept that camera a long time. Dawn was even whining about it. Did you get my camera? You know what?
Yeah. It'd be messed up if there was something on it.
I think there was something on it.
You do? Yeah, there might have been. They just weren't releasing it.
Out of all the tech they took, they got something. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
That's why it makes me want to hope and pray it's the big fish scenario.
Yeah.
She says she sees blood on the mattress, like a little tiny spot. She doesn't make it out like that's where something horrible happened, right?
Right.
She sees the upside down gazebo / carousel. She kind of calls it both, but she mostly goes with carousel, like you ride the horses around. Is that that's a carousel, right? Yeah. Said she was filmed on the carousel. Candace was present. She says she's been groomed since birth. I didn't really get what she meant by that, because it just seems so wild to me that you would groom a kid for 5 years and then hand them off to the person. Is that what she was groomed for?
Yeah, that'd be. unsolved, or however you say it, is what I'm taking it as.
She gave 2 names that are going to be important, a Chris and a Jeff.
Chris and Jeff.
Right?
Yep.
So.
Anybody know Chris or Jeff linked to the case? I'm just curious.
See, she gave the name, though, like the J sound. Wonder if him and Jeff are the same person.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Says Summer was cataloged. They would have kept her, but it got too high risk with all the publicity and all that stuff.
Yeah.
See, and I've seen that in the comments, too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy making a video out of psychic readings. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's very difficult, is it not?
Oh, yeah, it is, because the information's not in any kind of pattern. Not a lot of details, so you kind of just have to put it together.
And it's a lot to interpret, too.
Yeah.
You know?
There's multiple videos, you know. We
But
tried our best.
we did as good as we could.
Yeah.
And we did as good as we could and stayed together.
Right.
Because it's hard to make a video when you got a believer and a skeptic working together.
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope this, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will. You never know. The case is solved. We'll come back and listen to the video, see if any of it was right, or, you know.
Yeah. If we get answers, we'll come back and look at this and see if anything matches up, and if does, what, how much, you know what I'm saying? Give y'all a review.
Yeah.
But I just hope it does wrap up, because I think me and everybody else, Brandy included, want to find out what happened to Summer.
I do. I definitely do.
And remember, no matter what you see on YouTube, never stop looking for Summer.
Right.
Summer can still be out there. Summer can still be found. This can still have a happy ending, too. So remember that.
Yep.